Many clients who consult me for a life between life spiritual regression based on the Michael Newton method are asking about their meaning of life. What is the meaning of my life? And they want to come into the core of this, and this we do through deep regression in what's called hypnotherapy, but it is a long and deep regression to search for certain answers for the client while they're in this deeply relaxed state, what we call hypnosis. So the meaning of life is to me a totally subjective thing, and I think this is something that many could agree with me about. It is, on one hand, my story, the meaning of my life. Have I been a success? Have I been a failure? What is the meaning of my day? What is it all about? So actually, as a person, there's something what is called the ego, which is being somebody, to be either better or worse, or have a victim mentality, or narcissistic mentality, whatever all these ways to be. And sometimes the story of a person's life makes us depressed, in the sense that my life didn't have a meaning. And others find a meaning in everything, really. I mean, one could be religious, or there could be other reasons why you have this smile on your face all the time, this Mona Lisa smile, and you wonder, what does this person know that I don't know? Why is this person seems so content? I believe one has to reach the identity of the soul, as we do in these kind of life between life regressions. We go deeper and deeper in this kind of regression to have some kind of touch, personal touch with the soul. And it usually starts by going to childhood memories, which is part of this method that Michael Newton created, that we go to past life memories and only look for positive or neutral or happy memories, because Michael Newton figured out that if we go to unhappy or terrible childhood memories, we always have these. These traumas, we're full of traumas, but he figured out that to go to happy memories is a way to get in touch with the soul, because the soul remembers everything, and by remembering, for example, in my case, in my first Life Between Life session, I remembered somehow, or I had a feeling while in deeply regressed, that I was I was a baby lying on my father's arm, and I could in the session I did deeply regressed. I could even remember his body odor, which I loved. It didn't smell bad at all. It was wonderful. So this made me relax and go deeper and deeper. And then, based on this methodology, we go to the time even in the mother's womb, when we're a fetus only. And this is a way to go all the way to the bottom of the incarnation. And there I can already ask my client of the meaning, why this mother, why this father, and why these circumstances for your life. So already there we can start to figure out the personal meaning for the client of this life that they're in right now. Then also further on in this kind of life between life hypnotherapy, we go to a past life, which was, according to Michael Newton's mythology, a way to then fast forward to the death moment of the past life. And why? Because then, passing the death moment, it becomes then almost like a near-death experience, which is something people experience in accidents or on while they're having a surgery of some sort. So this is a way to remember what it's like to die, and then to move on to the spirit world and everything that is then happens there. And this you can all read about in the book by Michael Newton, the greatest bestseller ever, which I love this book. It's called Journey of Souls. And it's in English, of course, and it was written originally in English, of course. Michael Newton is American, and you can also find it in Swedish and many, many other languages. But anyhow, in the past life, then dying, you go to the spirit world, and there, through meeting guides and other higher beings and everything that happens there, individually based on the client and what can be obtained. I'll ask then the client of the meaning, because if that is the question the client comes with, it's the personal meaning, of course, the subjective feeling the client has then during the hypnosis. And this is what we then, build the whole session on going forward in trying to figure out. So there's always an answer, as far as I'm concerned, in these sessions, that the soul wants to incarnate because it wants to learn, and it wants to evolve, and it wants to learn things being a human. So the meaning of life is actually, it's not a secret. I think it is become more and more aware of being a soul having a body. And for me, as Rita, now doing all these sessions for 10 years, I realized that the meaning of life is subjective, of course, and it is the meaning we give it. And also, on a deeper level, it is the meaning is to evolve and to, through suffering and through difficulties and also through happy times and everything that we experience as individually as a soul, it has a meaning because we learn. And Michael Newton wrote in his book Journey of Souls that he found out, based on 7,000 clients, which was the base of his then his life work. And then in the Michael Newton Institute we've done at least 35,000 sessions. We're only 200 members, and from time to time we're more members or less members working with these sessions every year, and the institute is growing. We have more and more members, of course, but in general, Michael Newton's life work, I think he proved somehow through all his sessions that the meaning of life is for us as souls to incarnate on this earth. Sometimes maybe we incarnate on other places. He writes about that too. But to find this balance between doing and being is also a key, because many of us who go into our egos and our stories have a way somehow to drive without gasoline in the car. I mean, we lost all sense of meaning. We just carry on. It's like we just in the head, and I can see this in the eyes of the client if this is the case, because they lost the spark. They lost all in different degrees, of course, but they lost somehow the sense of meaning, and this is why they maybe found the books of Michael Newton or other people who talk about the soul. And I remember working as a nurse back in the days. I became a nurse when I was 19, and then it was great meaning for me to be a nurse, and because I wanted to go to foreign countries and become one of these nurses who work close to places where there is hunger or need of there's everywhere, of course, but then I got married and had children, and I didn't want to go anymore, so I found a way to do my inner journey, and I've traveled, of course, in other ways, but I didn't become a nurse, and I don't think I will be in my lifetime either, who knows, but to go somewhere to help rescue lives as a nurse or something else. If it gives me meaning, maybe I could, but these days I found that here in Sweden there is a other kind of need. There's this need, at least from my experience when I was working in hospitals, but there's a lack of spirit, there's a lack of soul, there's a lack of meaning. Why do we do all this? Okay, we have COVID, we have disasters, we have everything, and why do we help each other? Why do we do all this? That is the question I think we all need to answer when we come to a point when we feel depressed and we lost the meaning. And I lost my meaning a few times during my life, and always then when I prayed for help, I had a new flow in my life, which again started to give me meaning. And I believe this is beyond actually all that I love as a person. Of course, I love many things, but what gives me deeper meaning is what drives me. It's like the gasoline in my car, so I can rest and still feel meaning, and I can work and still feel meaning. What gives me meaning? This is subjective for me, but for example, to record a video like this gives me meaning in the moment. And I don't know if anybody will listen, but if someone will, maybe you want to contact me and talk about what gives you meaning, so I can interview you maybe in my YouTube channel. From now on, I record all videos in Swedish and in English, so there's a Swedish version to this too, but they're never identical because I improvise and go by the flow, and I go what gives me meaning in the moment. So that is why I keep on recording videos about topics that are somehow related to my work as Life Between Life facilitator here in Sweden, and also a member of the Michael Newton Institute. So every video I do has some kind of relation to my work as Life Between Life facilitator and member of the Michael Newton Institute. I'm, of course, an independent person, but I'd like to spread this work by Michael Newton Institute because I love it so much. I never met Michael Newton himself, but I know many who did. He retired 2006 and died 2016. He was born 1931. So during his life, he did, together with his wife Peggy, something I believe that gave him great meaning, and I could tell it from his way to be when I saw him in his videos, and that's why I got attracted to the Institute and his work. So I think energetically, if we feel a certain meaning, we will attract others who feel some kind of similar meaning. This is my belief. Okay, thank you for listening today, and I'll record a next video about personal identity and soul identity. Is it the same, or what is the relationship? So I hope you will listen, or maybe even keep on listening to my YouTube recordings on my channel Rita Borenstein. Thank you for today. Bye bye.